Nick Wilkins, what's good, my boy?
What's happening?
What's up,
It's been a
dog?
minute.
Haven't seen you in a while. It's been a minute, dog. How you
It's
feeling?
been a minute. Hey, I've been chilling, working, ready to get on this pod with my boy GMike. I'm so excited, dude. It's been so long. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, bro.
No, thank you for coming in, bro. I know now, we had a little conversation before you came in here. You're a busy man, so I appreciate your time, bro. And,
Yeah,
I
man.
just want to know if you still watch sports, bro, because it's been a minute since we talked. I don't know.
I still watch sports. It's been tough to find the time, but whenever I can, I'm watching.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, welcome into the G Perspective Sports Podcast, episode 81. I got my guy, Nick Wilkins, in here. And we're going to be talking about a little bit NBA playing, NBA playoffs, and the NFL draft because it's a week away. So to just jump in with the first game on Tuesday that went down, well, the Orlando Magic beat the Atlanta Hawks 120-95 to advance the NBA playoffs to take on the 7th seed, the Boston Celtics, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But just to get your perspective on the game itself between the Orlando Magic and Atlanta Hawks, what you think about that game?
I think Trae Young was ready to go home. he got up out of there as soon as he could. He made sure to get up out of there, tossing the ball to the ref. He was throwing a fit. And he said after the game he was upset about the way the game was called, and his teammates wasn't getting the calls that he thought they deserved or whatever it was. But they ended up with more free throws than the Magic. Overall, I think Atlanta just got dominated.
Got dogged. They got dogged.
Yeah, they
100%.
did. They did. You can't let Cole Anthony come off the bench and drop 26.
No, hell no.
10 for 17 shooting. He had a crazy good game. And that's good for Magic fans going forward. When Paolo has, a weaker game like this and they still get the win. I mean, he still had 17, but he shot 4 for 13 from the field. So it's a good looking game if you're a Magic fan. You dominate in a fashion like this, and the Hawks aren't a pushover. Like, they're still a pretty good squad, and they come out with the win. I think that's good for Magic fans.
No, definitely. And the thing about it was in the first quarter, this man Paulo Banchero had 5 assists. So he was out there trying to make sure that everybody on the team was eating, man. Not just, they're mainly defensive focused. And this is why they were playing so good in the beginning. They took a 20-point lead, and in the second quarter, with like 8 minutes left to go in the quarter, and their offense is not really the same. Their offense starts to deplenish, and you saw that in the second half. How the Hawks came back and only made it a 3-point game. But Pablo Banchero, man, he was trying to make sure that everybody was eating on the floor. He was being a playmaker, as well as when he needed to score, he'll score. Obviously, he's grabbing rebounds and playing defense like he always does, but it's very important that he got everybody else involved, because if not, the way that the Magic play offense, man, it doesn't seem like they can keep up with any team. And, the Hawks are not a team that really can score the rock. They really can. And Trae Young obviously wasn't doing what he needed to do. He didn't have a scoring outlet like he normally does, but, everybody else was trying to do their work. And maybe if Trae Young was actually able to get going, maybe this game would be a little bit closer, but Orlando Magic did their thing, and, they sent the Hawks flying.
Yeah. I mean, defense wins. Orlando showed up defensively, and that's the difference in this one, I think. But, man, Orlando's missing shooters. KCP came in, and he's been playing great defense, but he hasn't shot too well for them. At least back when he was on Denver, and that could be attributed to, he not getting the open shots like he used to get, with Jokic getting him open corner threes. I get that, but the Magic would be such a good team if they could build around Franz and Paolo with some shooters.
Yeah, and I saw something on a post on Twitter /X that it was like, who's the most disappointing player in the NBA season thus far, right? And I think we
Mhm.
could both agree that the most disappointing player is probably Paul George. I mean, the way that he
Oh
played, it
yeah.
was horrendous,
Oh
right?
yeah. I'm hoping he was just hurt.
I
I'm
really
giving
think he
him the
was.
benefit of the doubt. I think he was hurt and he was just playing hurt and
Mhm.
it just wasn't working. So I want to see him come back healthy before I mean, it was a disappointing season for all
Super,
of the Sixers.
super
That
disappointing.
entire team was just a disappointment this season.
Dude, man, like, it was horrible. I really can't believe that they're not in play in contention or playoffs. You know, like I was like,
Yeah.
dude, this is probably gonna be a fifth or sixth seed team. You know, but
Yeah. I mean, a
friggin'
lot of people
and
had them going to the Eastern Conference Finals before this season started, which
that's
is
tough,
crazy. I didn't
dude.
think so just
That's
because
tough.
they have such an injury prone roster. I didn't think it would be this bad.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't think anyone predicted they be this bad going into the season.
yeah, no, definitely. And like you wouldn't even think that they're not in playoffs right now or play in.
Yeah,
Like,
no, no, no.
bro,
That would
Joel
have I would have
Embiid, Paul
never
George,
guessed that.
Tyrese Maxey. Like,
No.
come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah. No. With those
But the
three,
reason I
I
brought that
mean,
up is because one of the players on the list was KCP. Is he someone that is a most disappointing player in your eyes in this NBA season?
I think so, just because of what I highlighted earlier. He he wasn't the shooter that the Magic wanted him to be coming in. They wanted
Right.
him to, spread the floor for Paolo and Franz to get open shots for other guys and be able to increase their 3-point percentage. And instead, KCP, though great on the defensive end, he didn't bring the shooting that they thought he could bring. But also, I don't want to put all the blame on him because they don't have really any other shooters outside of him. So it could have just been easy game planning for stop him, don't let him shoot. And other than that, no one else is going to beat us from the three. And the Magic had a lot of injuries and a lot of wonky stuff happened this year, and their core players didn't really play on the court at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
you had Paolo out with it was an oblique, right? Oblique injury at the
Yeah, for
beginning of the
like 10
season.
weeks.
Yeah, he was out for a while, and then right when he was about to come back, Franz got hit with the same injury. Then right when Franz was going to come back, Jalen Suggs got hurt, and so it's been kind of a wonky season for them. And
Mhm.
I would like to see Jalen Suggs in these playoffs. I think they would make a good run if Suggs was on the team because he brings such a different energy to Orlando. If
Yep.
you're ever in I was going to say the Amway, but not Amway anymore, the Kia Center.
Oh,
When you're in there and Suggs brings that energy, it's different. I don't really know how to explain it, but sometimes he's just that glue guy. The guy like everybody kind of rallies around. Paolo obviously is the best player. He's the number one there, but Suggs brings that different type of energy that really boosts the team. And I think without him, it's going to be difficult for them to find a good rhythm, especially going against Boston next round.
yeah, definitely. They need to play every single game the way that they played against the Hawks in the play-in
Oh
against
yeah.
Boston, bro. Because Boston's a team that they beat themselves, right? Like
Oh,
i-
definitely.
if Boston is shooting lights out, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be even close to
Nah,
beating them.
never.
If
Nah, never.
Boston shoots lights out and then they're like, yo, let's chill, relax, whatever, they beat themselves. It's not like teams
Yep.
beat them. If you're actually watching the games, you'll notice that they beat themselves because they let
Always.
teams come back and then they're like, oh, damn,
Yep.
coach, hold on, coach, hold on. Let me get my energy back. Let me get
Yep.
back in the game. No, 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 when it's already
Yep.
too late.
That's exactly right. You saw it last year when they played the Heat. Remember, they
Mhm.
snuck that game in there because they were
Yep.
just playing lazy and they didn't even have Jimmy Butler. They were just
Mhm.
playing lazy, settling for not open threes. They were just settling for bad 3-point shots, and they let the Heat get the better of them. And they can play like that sometimes.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, the
another thing
other
for the
game.
Magic though,
Yeah,
before
go ahead.
before we move on, why is Corey Joseph starting? Can you tell me that, George? I really
Dude,
don't
man,
know.
he got championship experience. I mean, when he
I
beat
guess, but
my team
with the
in
start,
2014, I mean,
Corey Joseph starting in 2025, I don't know.
is
I don't know.
that you already have right? So you got Corey Joseph, Paulo Banquero, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., and Who's the other starter in the starting five? Can't remember. But whatever. Just
Um,
what
it's KCP.
KCP. I'm sorry. Yep. And KCP. If you saw the game, which I'm sure you did, but for the fans out there,
Yep.
if you watched the game, he missed his first 3 shots. So it's like you need
Yeah, he went
some.
for 8.
You need some offensive power, I can say, in the second unit than more in the
Yeah.
first unit altogether, right? So what I mean is you already have Ben Curl, Franz Wagner, KCP, who's
Yeah.
supposed
So
to
you
be
bring
hitting
Cole
those
Anthony
threes,
off the
but
bench.
to bring Cole Anthony off the bench, you don't want him starting with the starting unit because then when the second unit comes onto the floor, who's going to be out there really scoring the rock with some of the starters that they're going to keep on the floor, obviously, because they're going to have more minutes. But still, you want someone else. You want a sixth man and a seventh man to come off the bench and do what they need to do when it comes to scoring. Because if you already have 3 players that can score the rock and give you 20 or more a night, then you want some defensive pieces with those players to make sure that they stop the opposing players from scoring. I mean, that's the only reason I would see Corey Joseph out there because I agree with you.
Yeah.
You're not
But
going to want him in the starting five.
They could start Anthony Black, but he's
Mhm.
young, so I get it.
And he likes to facilitate too. I think Anthony Black knows how to create an offense. He doesn't know how to score as much. He can't score the rock like
No.
that for sure.
But I mean, he shot well. Shot 6 for 7 in this game.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
if you guys watch the game, anytime Cole Anthony gets the ball, he's trying to get a bucket.
Oh yeah. Every time Cole
He's
Anthony touches the ball, he's looking at the rim.
exactly
Not
looking
any
at the
of
rim.
his
And that's what you
teammates.
need. You need
Yeah.
from some of those
Yeah.
players.
Yeah. No, he's great off the bench. I wasn't saying necessarily that Cole Anthony should start, but it was interesting to see Corey Joseph in the starting lineup in the playoffs in 2025. But I'm not dissing him as a player or anything, but I think he's a great player and he's been on great teams and he's been a key piece for those teams. But I don't know. I wasn't expecting to see him start.
No, me either. And they were talking about it
worked.
too. They're like,
it worked.
14 years in the league.
Yeah.
Corey Joseph has been bouncing from team to team to team. He is an NBA champion in 2014. All this bullshit. I'm like, yeah.
Well.
All right. The next team I wanted to talk about was the Golden State Warriors beating the Memphis Grizzlies, right? 121 to 116. Yes, great game. If you guys didn't watch that game down the stretch, it was a great game.
Oh my goodness.
They advanced to the NBA playoffs. I was about to say playoffs. NBA playoffs to go against the Houston Rockets. What are your takeaways from this game? Because I know it was different from beginning to end, 100%.
Oh yeah. It was definitely different, but you can't have it close in that fourth quarter when Curry's on the floor. You just can't. If Curry's on the floor and it's close in the fourth quarter, and I'm not really a betting man, but if I was, I'm putting my money on Curry. That man shows up time and time again in the fourth quarter, and we saw it. We saw it again. We saw Chef Curry doing what he does best. He killed it in the fourth, and when they needed him most, he shot very well. And he wasn't shooting the best prior to that in the first half, but when they needed him, he came through. But Jimmy Butler for this team, Jimmy and Steph. I know, George. I was gonna ask you how you feeling, but I was gonna talk him up a little bit first.
I'm happy for Jimmy.
With a little tear coming down.
Right.
I'm happy for him.
I'm just gonna tear tatted right here.
Yeah,
for different reasons.
Oh man. But no, this is a good, really, really good duo, but I don't see the Warriors going far. I don't. Go ahead.
And I agree with you, but I want you to explain why, because I feel like we both have the same reason.
They don't have enough. They don't have that. They don't have another person that can go get you a bucket. When Curry's getting double teamed and Jimmy's not finding a rhythm offensively, because they're as great as Curry and Jimmy Butler are. If we're looking at this from a realistic point of view, they're not going to combine for over 70 every single game in the playoffs. And if they want to win, they pretty much have to do that every single game. So I just don't think they have enough offensively unless Moses Moody can go on a tear. from shooting, and I
He
don't
only
see
had
that,
9
and it
points.
doesn't exactly. And Brandon Pajimski, he's good. He really is. He's talented, young guy, but it's just not enough. And if they're not going to start or even play Kuminga, they don't have that. They don't have like an Austin Reeves as their third piece to just go out and get you a bucket. When things are slow, they don't have that guy that can just go out and get a bucket. I know Draymond's not going to do an ISO from the top of the key and go get you a bucket in the mid-range. It's not happening. And sometimes you need those plays to bring your team back into the game. And, there's those slow points in the game when even if Curry's on the bench and it's just Jimmy Butler in, or vice versa, and they're going cold from the field. They need a guy that is just you can just pass to and go to work, get you a bucket like a Malik Monk, a Jordan Clarkson. There's guys like that out there and on a lot of teams, and the Warriors just don't have that guy. And also, they're small. They're a small ball.
That's when they
team.
play the best, though. That's when they play the
best. It is when they play the best, but could you imagine if you got Curry like a Sabonis or a passing center that could set a monstrous pick and roll off of that? Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. The Warriors would be disgusting.
Which is why they wanted Giannis, which is why they wanted Joel Embiid.
Giannis on that team is cheating. Let's get that out there right now. Yeah, Giannis, Jimmy, and Curry. Oh my gosh, that's cheating. That is cheating. Clay would be sitting there looking at the report with a tear falling right on the page.
That one Clay meme of him on the bench.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be horrible for any NBA fan that's not a Warriors fan, pretty much.
No,
that's cheating.
For real.
But yeah, no, to answer your question, I just don't think they have enough offensively. That third piece it's super important, especially in playoffs.
The only reason they won this game, and actually, let me rephrase that. That's not the only reason, right? But the biggest reason to me they won this game was because of free throws. Memphis had 20 of 23 free throws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one because, okay. Golden State had 28 of 34 free throws. Jimmy and Steph Curry together had 25 free throws made. While everybody else for the Memphis Grizzlies, the highest free throws made was 6 by Zach Edey, the rookie.
But did you see the way they were guarding Curry, though?
Dude, no. Scottie Pippen Jr. was doing monstrous work on defense. But even though that
man was grabbing his arm, running around everywhere.
Yeah, literally. But you saw the 2 pump fake at the end?
Yeah, that was disgusting.
That
was
disgusting. I was just like,
filthy work. Oh my gosh.
I see why the kids just want to shoot threes. I see.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you see, he makes it look too easy. That's the problem. Kids think they can go in their backyard and do that. He makes it look way too easy. Dude, he go out and hit that step back on the center. Scotty rolls over, pump fake, bam. That was filthy work.
And it's crazy because just a side note, everybody else thinks that they could do what Curry does.
No one else is Curry.
Bro, you cannot do what Curry does, bro. Curry is one of one.
The closest thing we've seen really to Curry is James Harden. And James Harden was like, Curry doesn't count. When he went number 2 on the list of 3 points, he's like, I'm pretty much number 1 because Curry doesn't count.
Curry's in his realm.
He is. He's in his own category.
Yeah, literally, bro. Literally.
When it comes to shooting, he is in his own category. There is no one. The best shooter is the most unarguable topic of discussion when it comes to basketball. The best shooter is Stephen Curry.
Yep. If Steph and Jimmy don't get as many free throw attempts, the Grizzlies win this game. Just like Nick alluded to, there's no one else on this team that is helping Jimmy and Curry score. And when it comes to the NBA playoffs, this is not college. This is not a 1-game system and you move on to the next round. This is a 7-game series. And if you can't get some players to score as much as Jimmy and Curry can score, you're not going to beat anybody. And I really want the Warriors to beat the Rockets because I think the Rockets are super inexperienced, right?
Yeah.
But they have way more scores than the
They have
Warriors do, bro.
way more weapons.
And
The only way the Warriors win is if it comes down to a battle of toughness and who's
the games are
been here
close.
before.
I think
Yeah.
I think if the games are close, the Warriors will win that game. But
Yeah.
if the games get out of hand and the Rockets are up 15 going into the fourth quarter, I don't know, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's
It's
a young,
tough.
fast-paced, talented team, bro. And it's not gonna
Yeah,
be the
young,
same.
athletic. The Warriors are
Super athletic.
not the most athletic,
No.
but the Rockets are athletic. You got Jalen Green jumping out the gym, and Amen Thompson is not from here. That
Literally.
dude could be if
And his
if
brother.
he can get a jump shot. Yeah, his brother too. Their athleticism is on a different realm. It's insane. It's in a different topic of discussion. They're definitely built different, to say the least. But if Thompson, Amen Thompson can get a jump shot to go with that athleticism and defensive ability, he could be one of the best players in the league.
No, it's gonna happen too. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
100%.
I think so. Over the summer, just shoot three after three after three after three. You'll get better. You'll get better. Improve that 3-point percentage year after year. You'll get better and better. The sky's the limit for that kid. But Steve Kerr benched Jason Tatum in the Olympics, so he's not afraid to bench people. I know that.
Yeah. I wonder why he bet. I mean, with Tatum is different. I feel like Tatum.
Hey, I'm saying he's not afraid to sit your ass down.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I think what Tatum is in the Olympics is more because obviously there's a lot of superstars that are on the court. You know that you can't be playing just everybody all the time, and if you really want to win and beat these teams, like what happened when it came down to Serbia and to France, like you need the best players on the floor, and you saw when KD came off the bench, he didn't play the first few games because of an injury.
Yeah.
When he came off the bench, that boy made 8 shots without missing.
If I'm running it, if I'm like in Steve Kerr's position, I'm putting KD in there too over Jason Tatum. I'm sorry, KD in the Olympics goes crazy, and plus, how many guys are pretty much 7 foot shooting over everybody? Yeah, it's just you got to play KD. Got to.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not being a coach and not putting KD on the floor. But I still would have gave Jason Tatum some minutes. I feel like maybe he could have done a little bit better than Devin Booker, maybe.
Oh, Devin Booker played well though. Devin Booker played really, really well, and he wasn't selfish at all. He wasn't chucking shots up as if he was on the Suns. Like he passed the ball at the right times, and he played really, really good defense. I had never seen him play that well on the defensive end that I did see from him during the Olympics.
Yeah, he played good for sure. But
yeah, he did.
I mean, he had to play defense. I mean,
no, he did. He did. No, those games were so much fun to watch. That Serbia game was like watching the Avengers when Curry, Braun, and KD were all out there. That was insane.
Yeah, no, and how they came back too, man.
That
was crazy.
It was incredible. It was incredible, especially with Curry shooting like that at the end. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, that last shot. That's
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I was
like,
no way. It was like that Kyrie. It was like the Kyrie Irving shot against the Warriors.
Literally, I was like, no way. And it went, bow. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I watching?
I saw it live, and then I saw it again on the documentary, and that shit just gave me goosebumps.
I haven't watched the documentary. I heard it's really good. I need to tune in. I need to tune in.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Oh man.
I mean, if you're a sports fan, a basketball.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to tune in. I'm lacking.
Lacking hard. All right, let's move on to this. The next game, which was my Miami Heat beating the Chicago Bulls 109-90 to advance to the play-in. once again on Friday to play the Atlanta Hawks because they lost against the Orlando Magic. So they moved down to try to get into the eighth spot. We're going to challenge them for that to go against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are the number one in the Eastern Conference. What were your takeaways from that game, the Miami Heat versus the Chicago Bulls?
Belt to ass. That's my take on this game. Tyler Hero went crazy, and the Bulls didn't get what they needed out of Kobe White. I mean, they can't have him shooting 5 for 20 out here. They needed him to go off like he's been going off in the last few games of the season. Like the last 10, he had like 30 game after 30 game. They needed something out of it. They needed some performance like that, and they did not get anywhere near that. And Tyler Hero was like, watch out, I got y'all. We don't need Jimmy Butler. I got y'all. And he took over that game.
Yeah, he saw what Jimmy did the night before, and he was like, nah.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta snap.
Do something about this.
I gotta snap.
38. I gotta draw 38 on these motherfuckers.
Yep.
Man, they be looking at us crazy. But I mean, Miami was just playing great defense from the get-go.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
You watched the game; they were all over the floor. They were everywhere. Every time someone got the ball, they were making sure someone in front of their face, if not two people, were in front of their face. And then on top of the fact that I love the fact that Eric Spoelstra put Bam Adebayo on Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey was the one that was doing work for the Chicago Bulls the last 2 weeks of the season, and just playmaking and actually making shots and making tough shots as well. Putting Bam on him, one of the top defenders in the league, was a great move.
Yeah,
I had Wiggins with 20 points, Hero obviously with 38, Bam with 15, and then off the bench, Davon Mitchell, he was doing his thing as well. He didn't miss.
Mitchell, that he can lock up anybody. I'm convinced. I'm convinced this man is he's playing like Drew Holiday, not as good scoring wise, but he is locking dudes up.
Literally.
Like he's got people in jail when he sees them. It's really impressive to see.
And I love it. I
bet that's one of those guys you want to root for. Like that's the guy you want on your team. Come off the bench and just lock someone down, man. And we don't see much of that anymore. It's sad. I miss defense being in the NBA, and so you see guys like him coming out. It's refreshing. It's like all right. It's still there's still an art here.
No, yeah, facts, and we need to resign him ASAP.
Oh, for sure.
Right now.
Oh, you can't let him walk.
Before we play the next playing game.
That's Pat Riley's type of guy. He's not letting him walk. He's not letting him walk. Eric Spoelstra is going to get down on his knees and say, please resign this man if he doesn't want to. No, you got to go sign that check. Whatever he wants is worth it. He's a really, really good defender. I mean, he makes good plays offensively. I mean, he makes the right play. Not obviously he's not going out there and getting you a bucket. He's not like one of those guys, but he can make the open shot when he needs to. And that lockdown defense is hard to replace. It's really hard to replace. It's like when Memphis let Dillon Brooks go. Everybody was like, yeah, like they should have let him go, but it ended up being bad for Memphis in the long run because Dillon Brooks plays defense.
Exactly. And that's what you want.
What he's doing for the Rockets.
Sometimes you need players who are just going to do what they need to do. Yeah. You need some players that are 3-point specialists. You need some players that are 3-point specialists and defensive player, and that's what Dillon Brooks does. And he brings an intensity and an annoyingness to the opposing players. Like he's going to go out there and he's going to do what he needs to do for his team, bro.
Yep.
Not everybody can
bring that energy
and score like Kobe.
Yeah, it's important. Those guys are important. The energy in your back type of players. Play defense and get your team hype and ready to go. I mean, those players are important. Those glue guys are important. And Davion Mitchell, you can tell the team gets hype when he locks someone down. It's like, yeah, you really did that. And that just makes everybody else play better because the confidence is up. It's like he just locked down their best player. And so is everybody's confidence shoots through the roof. Those are the guys you want on your team. It makes for good basketball.
And I was kind of worried because the Bulls beat us 3 times this year in all 3 meetings. So I was like, damn, bro. Now we got to go up against them in the playoff, in the play-in. Damn, we might lose. But I heard a lot of stuff on Sports Center and First Take, and it's like it truly is hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, like
Oh yeah.
throughout the regular season or even in the playoffs. Like 4 times in
Hmm.
a row, like that is tough to do against any single team, even if it's the number one seed going up against the eighth seed. Like
Hmm.
any of those players on any of those teams will tell you that it's hard as hell to beat a team 4 times straight.
Yeah. Yep. It's like,
But
same thing for football. It's like you beat the team you played twice in the same season. That's tough to do already. And then you play them in the playoffs. Almost always everyone's picking the team that lost twice
yep,
because it's so hard to beat that team that third time. They're professionals. It's any given day they could beat you. And so it's hard to be consistent that often and to have that team's number. And it does happen, but it's super, super difficult.
yeah, facts. All right, so the last game that went on was the Dallas Mavericks beating the Sacramento Kings 120-106 to advance to play the Memphis Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies lost against against the Golden State Warriors. So they'll be playing in the next playing game, which both of those playing games are tomorrow. But just on the Mavericks and the Kings, what you take away from that game?
AD got buckets, and then we saw playoff Clay show up. It's
Yeah.
always good to see Clay get buckets. I mean,
Even though he's old as hell, but still, we still love it, baby.
He's still making it rain. He's still getting them threes off.
Yeah.
I feel a little bad for him because this is definitely not the season he expected when he signed with the Mavs. Definitely not the season he expected.
Definitely didn't see that his superstar player was going to get traded away to the team that he should have signed with.
Nobody not even Nico, the GM of the Mavericks, saw this coming. No one saw this coming. That man better have really, really good security, because walking around in Dallas, I fear for that man's life. Yeah, I really do.
I feel bad for him, bro, because I feel like, dude, like, how do you trade away a generational 25-year-old talent?
There's no way that was his decision. That had to have been a decision above his head, and he's just a scapegoat.
It had to be the mob in Dallas.
There's something else going on, and I don't want to I don't want to get into rumors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
of
course.
But I mean, because who knows what's from what? But to trade away a top 5 player who's 25 is next to unheard of. And I don't know.
Just don't do that, bro. Just don't do that.
I mean, maybe he did do it because he thought it was what was right for the team, because Anthony Davis ain't no slouch. He's a great player, and I think at putting him on the same team as Kyrie, which is what they thought was going to happen prior to him getting hurt. Great idea. I think they could play great together, but trading a 25-year-old superstar, I don't know.
You're trading away your future for now, which is what I got from it, right?
Yeah.
You want to win now, but I don't know,
were just
man.
in the finals,
I
don't know. Something about it's just fishy. I don't want to go into it because I don't know what from what in terms of the rumor aspects in it, but I don't see the thought process there. I don't see that unless there's an underlying meaning. I don't see the thought process there. I just don't.
Nah, I don't see it either. But just with this game, man, if you guys have been watching this podcast or my other podcasts, I've been talking about the Kings for a little while now, because they're a team that a lot of people like to bring up and try to compare them to the other teams in the West and see if they could try to make runs. But the thing with this team is that they don't play defense, man. And you saw that against the Mavericks, man. Like, the first quarter, it was cool. It was fine. It was dandy. Second quarter, bro, the Mavericks scored 44 points, or the Kings only scored 20. And you only have your 2-star players actually scoring points, while your 3rd-star player, which I would think that he should be the first, but he's not, in Sabonis, that he only scored 11 points. Obviously, he got a superstar defender in Anthony Davis covering him, so it's going to be tough. But you only got 2 players that are actually in like Zach LaVine, 20 points. DeMar DeRozan, 33. The next top player is Sabonis with 11, and after that, it is Devin Carter with 10 points. And you guys don't even know who Devin Carter is. Like,
yeah,
bro, you can't be out here having horrible offense and horrible defense and expect to do something in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah,
it's just not gonna fly. And dude, like again, I've been saying it all year. The Kings do not have defense, and like it's cliche
they
to
don't.
say, but defense does win championships. If you guys actually watch playoff runs and you
Exactly.
watch the
What were
Super
we
Bowl,
saying earlier?
you watch the NBA Finals, you watch the Stanley Cup Finals.
Defense
Defense
is
wins
important.
you the chip, bro. Wins
It's
you the chip,
so,
and
so true.
it's not gonna
So,
help the
so true.
Kings at all.
No, no. And but you can't turn the ball over almost double the opponent. And they got outscored. They got doubled up on in the second quarter.
Literally.
I mean, you're just not going to win with stats like that. You can't turn the ball over that much. And if you're going to, you got to play defense on the other end and get the ball just as much as you're giving it up. But obviously, that wasn't the case for the Kings. I agree with you. Their defense was subpar at best, and they didn't get the job done. Zach LaVine shot poorly, and Clay showed up. Give him credit. Give AD credit. AD's out here trying to prove something, and he really doesn't need to prove anything because he's AD. He's a champion. He's won before. He's done great on his own before. He has nothing to prove, but he feels like he has to prove something because of the whole trade situation. And I really do feel bad for him, but hey, we'll get some really good basketball out of AD in these next few games.
I think next year will be different. I think they can actually maybe make a trade or two and try to get some help out there.
Oh, I think they'll be good once
Kyrie, I
Kyrie
don't
comes
think
back healthy.
Kyrie. Yeah, but Kyrie's not going to come back healthy till mid-season. So
Yeah.
they need some players that are actually going to help out AD
Mhm.
and Clay actually score the rock, because I think
Yeah.
PJ Washington can, but he's going to be inconsistent. I don't
Yeah.
think he could put up 17 points every game like he did last game. Najee
Not
Marshall,
without not without Luca giving him the rock. That's the problem.
Luca taking on two
Luca,
defenders at the same time as well. Like,
exactly, and then like that is such a underrated part of his game, and he's taking away defenders from his teammates. I mean, that's why he's so good at playmaking. He's got eyes in the back of his head, the way he passes the ball. But I mean, people are so focused on defending him that he's able to get good shots for his teammates, and so that'll be a part the Mavericks miss going forward. But I agree with you. I think once they add a couple of pieces next year, and then hopefully Kyrie comes back healthy, and they can get a run going. That team is still a solid squad.
it is, and in the West, it's tough. But if they're in the East, I think they'll easily be fourth seed, fifth seed. You know, but
The East
they are
compared to the West
they
is
are
something completely different.
Yeah, no facts.
The West is like it's a bloodbath in the West, and then the East you got the top three teams, and then the rest is looking shaky.
So on Friday, we're gonna have the Mavericks against the Grizzlies and the Heat
Mm-hmm.
against the Hawks. Just to get your quick takes on that, we'll start off with Heat Hawks first. Who do you think takes that game?
Give me the Heat. I did not like the way Trey was mentally in that game against the Magic. And if the Atlanta's gonna win that game, they need Trey to be Trey. And it just doesn't look. It looks like he's defeated already in his mind. They're missing Jalen Johnson. They're missing a few guys, and I think in Trey's mind, they're already in Cancun, and that means the rest of Atlanta is already in Cancun. And Tyler Hero, he's playing different ball. He's trying to prove something. He wants to be the number one guy, and you can see it. And the Heat play that scrappy defense that no one wants to play, and Atlanta for sure doesn't want to play it. So I definitely got the Heat in this one. I think I know who you're gonna go with in that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be biased and take Miami, right? But the only thing
Yeah,
I'm
as you
worried
should.
about is that Chicago is a team that is not even above the mid-level on offense and defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Hawks are like right there borderline when it comes to offense. And when it comes to defense, they're a little above that, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
have a defensive player in the year, in my opinion, with Dyson Daniels. He's
Oh,
a steals leader,
bro.
broke the season of steals, passing Allen Iverson. And they do a lot of
Insane.
work on defense, so I think that's what I'm really scared of, because Miami is not a good offensive team, bro. They have
Mm-hmm.
good moments, they have good games where they can show a lot of offense like they did last game,
Mm-hmm.
but against teams that are very defensive oriented, it kind of shies away. it kind of goes in the gutter, and that's what I'm scared of with that game. I think it is going to be close. I think the Heat can pull it off because just looking at the teams, at the rosters on paper, the Heat are a better roster. They have better roster. They have better players, 100%. It's just
Mhm.
who's going to come out to want to win this game more. And we're going to be on the road. They're going to be in Atlanta. It's going to be a different environment. Obviously we're on the road in Chicago, but again, it's not the same team. It's a different, completely team. So I think the Heat take it just by a few points, maybe by 3 or 4 points, but it's going to be a tough game all the way to the end. Hopefully, we don't blow another fourth quarter game like we have been all season because it was so good.
I don't think you will. I really I think the Heat got this one.
Hell yeah.
But those were some good points, and I understand why you're a little worried, but I don't know. Atlanta looks beat mentally already. They look beat.
Yeah, they did. They did. But the next game would be the Dallas Mavericks and Memphis Grizzlies. On that game, who are you taking?
I'm gonna take the Grizzlies because I think Desmond Bain is gonna have a crazy game against the Mavericks. Desmond Bain's been hooping all year. He's been their consistent piece, the guy that they can lean on. Ja has had, ups and downs. We know Ja is a great player. He's their number one there. But, whether he's injured or off the court antics, this, that, and the third, Desmond Bain has showed up time and time again for them. And I think with the way he's been playing and how they almost beat the Warriors, how they really should have beat the Warriors if you really look at it. But I think the Mavericks have a lot of work to do in the offseason still. The only way I see the Mavericks winning is if AD just absolutely takes advantage of Jaren Jackson down low. And I don't really see that happening because Jaren Jackson is a great defender. And I think they'll kind of not eliminate each other, but they'll definitely be slowed down by each other because of how good AD is defensively and how good Jaren Jackson is defensively. And I think Desmond Bain is going to be a guy that they're not going to have an answer for defensively, and he'll get his buckets. And Ja Morant obviously is Ja Morant, so he'll get his buckets too.
Yeah, I don't even have to say much because you hit it right on the head. But the only thing I want to mention is that the Mavericks are playing the Grizzlies. They're not playing the Kings. The Grizzlies are going to come out and punch them in the mouth when it comes to defense because the Kings did not do that at all. So the role players for the Dallas Mavericks, they better be ready to play more intense with higher IQ, fast pace, hustle on every loose ball because, again, the Kings had 18 turnovers. The Memphis Grizzlies are not going to do that. They're going to protect the rock, and they're going to play way better defense. So if the Mavericks want to win this game, they literally have to play a perfect game on offense and defense. Because
exactly.
I do not see it happening. I see the Grizzlies taking this one for sure.
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, let's
jump
plus
it's in Memphis.
Playoffs. Yeah, and it was in Memphis. Exactly.
Yeah.
And a crazy stat. I saw that the lowest. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it was the lowest or highest, or whatever. But the tickets on this game are super cheap. You could get into the game for $40.
Oh, wow. A playoff game. That's crazy.
Exactly, right? A playoff game, exactly. That is insane.
That's insane. That's ridiculous. But
hopefully it turns out to be a good game and not one of these games.
I think it will be a good game. So if you're in Memphis, go pay $40 to watch this game. That's a solid deal. If I was in Memphis, I would. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, thanks. So let's jump to the playoffs and just do quick predictions on what we think. Each of the series that are set right now, we won't talk about the 1 and 8s because they're not set as yet. So we'll talk about the 2 7s, the 3 6s, and the 4 5s. First series that comes up, the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. Tell me who you got and why.
Oh man, this is gonna be a good series. They always are feisty when they play each other. I think it was last year the play-in with the whole Giannis and the game ball situation, and the Pacers just play at such a fast pace. Milwaukee always has difficulty playing them. I think they swept them. I think this year throughout the season. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure the Pacers definitely have the edge on the Bucks during the regular season.
They do.
but I
just don't know if they
yeah,
swept.
I don't know if they swept them. Milwaukee might have got one game, but I know that for sure they have the edge. But and the Pacers they play fast. Halliburton plays great. When Halliburton plays great, they play great. And they definitely need that man number 0 to play at his best in this series, because it looks like Damian Lillard will show up at some point, because he just got cleared from the blood clots to do contact again. And so he'll be back in practice, and they'll probably try to get him in by game 2 or 3. And so Indiana's going to want to get out to a hot start if they can, because they do not want to see number 0 on the other side, and for good reason. But I got Milwaukee just because Giannis is going crazy these last couple of months. Insane basketball he's playing right now. And if they get Dame back, it's night for the Pacers. Even if they play fast, they play their best ball, they're going to need Tyrese to drop 30 and 12 every night, and I just don't see it happen.
Yeah, if Dame doesn't come back, if he doesn't play, I think the Indiana Pacers can run away with it, because they hustle, they play good defense, they move the ball around. Tyrese Halliburton will probably average 10 assists this whole series
for sure.
They're lanky, they play good defense, and especially at home. When they're at home, they're a different type of team than they are on the road.
100%.
Yeah,
that's why they got to get out to that lead while they're at home.
Exactly. If they could get a 2-0 lead, that would be great for them. I just don't see.
If they get happening. A 2-0 lead, that's perfect for them.
Yeah. But if Dame comes back, I think we're looking at this series like a little differently. I think that they will, the Pacers will break down defensively, and it will cause harm to their offense throughout the series. Dame he's a very smart point guard, and obviously he could shoot the ball from anywhere, and he could get a bucket from anywhere. The thing is that I don't know if he's gonna be back in the beginning of the series, or if the series is close to the end. Like, you want him back early as possible to get that chemistry going, to get the flow going throughout each and every game. If he comes back at the end of the series, the Pacers still can take it, because it'll be trying to throw in someone into the bike ride with a whole marathon going on, and they don't know how exactly it's going, and it just messes up the whole flow, and everybody starts crashing into each other, and they start falling to the ground. It can turn out like that.
Definitely.
Not saying that it will, but it can turn out.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. It definitely could happen, especially with how well Giannis is playing right now by himself. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, so we want to see Dame come back game 2, game 3. Hopefully, for sure the first game on when they're at home, so you could get that rest instead of being on the road, and try to trust your teammates that you can get one in Indiana, which I think the Milwaukee Bucks can. They're a championship team. They love to shoot the rock. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league. Their defense is kind of wishy-washy, but I think all in all, I think the Milwaukee Bucks will either take this in 6 or in 7, for sure.
Yeah, I think the Bucks will take it in 7. I think they'll do it on Indiana's floor, but I think it'll go 7.
So the next series is the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. This is bro. I think this is gonna be a really good series. I think this is gonna be the best series, probably.
I agree. Right? I agree. Kawhi has been playing great basketball right now.
Out of his mind, bro.
A healthy Kawhi, no one wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. And if you would have asked me before Malone got fired, I probably would go Denver, just because Jokic is the best player in the league. And I'm going with Jokic and how well they play basketball, but they just seem to be kind of dysfunctional right now. Like, I know that shooting has always been kind of an issue throughout their entire season, but something seems off with the locker room, and they need to be playing. They need the fire on all cylinders if they want to be the Clippers, because the Clippers are going to come to play. James Harden has been playing great basketball right now, getting other players the ball. And I don't know for Denver if they got enough to beat the Clippers. I think this will go 7, but I think the Clippers get the edge. But if you would ask me a few weeks ago before Malone got fired, I would have went Denver. But I think this is just too much dysfunction in Denver at the moment.
No, and that's the best point right there. Because if you don't, the Clippers have the better coach. The Denvers don't even have a coach.
Exactly.
And when you have the better coach that's been to the finals, has actually won in the finals, and he's very successful at winning at basketball, he knows exactly what's going on. And you got a player like Kawhi Leonard, who, when healthy, is probably a top 5 player in the NBA. You got a player in James Harden, who's a top 5 scorer and a top 5 facilitator in the NBA. With the surrounding pieces around them, Norman Powell, like, dude,
Zubac is gonna give. He's gonna give. Obviously, Jokic is Jokic, but he's gonna give Jokic a tough time.
Yeah,
Jokic is still gonna do his thing. Let's not get that wrong, but Zubac is gonna make him play defense, and Jokic sometimes strays away from that to focus on offense, and with good reason. He's just the best player offensively in the league, but Zubac could give him trouble on the other end, especially with that pick and roll with James Harden. Oh boy, I don't know. I don't see Denver winning.
I got Clippers in 7, man. I got Clippers in 7 too. I think the absence of Jamal Murray too is a big concern for the Denver Nuggets. Like, he's been very inconsistent this year, and before, when he won the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat, he was talking about how he should be an all-star and how he gets all-star snub and this and that. But he be shying away too much. Like, he's very inconsistent compared.
I agree.
Obviously, not compared to other players in the league, but compared to the players that he wants to be compared to, the all-star players, you're inconsistent. You need to be
consistency
more consistent.
Matters. I completely agree with you.
And if he's out there just showing the type of play that he's been showing for the last few months in this playoff series, I don't know who else is gonna help Jokic score the rock, because Michael Porter Jr. ain't doing it either. Aaron Gordon,
he's still looked the
injured.
same.
In my eyes, he's still injured.
He probably is. But
so it's like, bro, it's gonna be tough.
And they don't have shooting outside of Porter. And if you're gonna want to beat the Clippers, you're gonna have to shoot the ball well from 3. And Nuggets just aren't a great shooting team. They're just not. They've been winning games even without that aspect in their game because of how great Jokic is and how he can get other players open and he can still get buckets. But without a really good shooting team, it's going to be very difficult to beat this Clippers team because they are a good shooting team and they run a great offense offensively with Zubac in that pick and roll. And then Kawhi can get a bucket over any single person in the league, especially if he's healthy. And he looks healthy. Going into the playoffs, that's a scary sight for anyone on the other side of that basketball. So I got the Clippers in 7. I'm with you. I think Norman Powell has had a great year. He would have won Most Improved Player of the Year if he played enough games. And I don't see Denver with all the dysfunction going on, with the coach getting fired right before the playoffs. I don't see them winning out of this series because the Clippers are playing on fire right now. And going into the playoffs, you don't want to see James Harden and Kawhi on a heater. That's just not something you want to see. So I give the edge to the Clippers. If you don't have I think it will go 7. Exactly.
So the next series is, and this is a series that you're excited about. I'm actually excited about it too, man, because
my Pistons
versus
man.
the New York Knicks. A lot of people got the Knicks winning this series, but I don't know.
I still got the Knicks, but hey.
Nah.
I wouldn't. I do. I'm sorry. I can't be that biased, but
I am.
I wouldn't be surprised if I'm also a Detroit fan. Let's be honest. Most of the time, I'm picking the other team just so I don't get my hopes up and we lose because we always lose.
Okay, so let me go first here. Go
ahead.
So you see if you agree, right?
Okay, yeah.
The reason I got the Pistons, right, and I got the Pistons.
You're actually picking the Pistons.
Yes, I got the Pistons in 7, winning at the Garden, right?
That'd
The
be
Knicks,
insane. I'd cry.
the Knicks don't have depth.
No, not at all.
Tom Thibodeau is gonna run these players to the ground. He's gonna make sure that they play 48 minutes each
Yep.
and every game. I'm exaggerating here. They're probably gonna play like 40 to 44. But
But
still,
that's
exactly in a
ridiculous.
playoff series, that's still a lot, right?
Yeah.
Their starting five is great. They're phenomenal. I'm
Amazing.
not taking that away from them. Defense and offense, they're great, except for Jalen Brunson on defense.
Mhm.
But you're going up against a hard-nosed fought team like the Pistons, who are 8 deep.
Yeah.
When it comes to playmaking, when it comes to shooting, when it comes to defense, when it comes to hustle, when it comes to young talent,
Yeah.
the Pistons just run deep. And that's why I think the Pistons are going to win. They have shown all year that they can play with the best of them. They can beat
Definitely.
any team. And the Knicks have shown all year that they can't
They
beat
can
the top
lose.
5 teams in the
Yeah.
East. They're 0 and
This is
11
true.
against the Celtics, against the Cavaliers, against the Milwaukee Bucks, against the Indiana Pacers. They can't
Mhm.
beat the top 10, the top 4 teams in the East. And I really think if it wasn't for the slow start of the Pistons in the beginning of the year, because I think in the beginning of the year, the first 20 games, I think they lost like 11.
Yeah.
If it
We
wasn't for
got
that,
off to a slow start.
yeah, if it wasn't for that, they would probably be 3rd or 4th seed right now. And the Knicks, again, it's talking about what's on paper. They can't beat the top 4 teams in the East. I don't know, man. I think the Pistons have more depth. They have
They
young
definitely have
talent.
more depth.
They're gonna
But
have more
that
energy
starting
when it.
five.
Yes, facts. That starting 5 is crazy. But
Yeah.
the young energy of that team when it comes to Game 6 and Game 7, I think will be shown. The only thing that I think that will shy away from the Pistons is the inexperience,
Mhm.
which I think if
Exactly.
the Knicks can capitalize on that, they will take the series. But I
Yep.
still think that the Pistons will take it because of everything else.
I think it'll be close, and I think you made some really, really good points, and because of those points, the Pistons have a chance. I really think they do, and I think it'll go 7. But I think in the Garden the Knicks will win. But what's gonna have to happen is Jalen Brunson is going against Cade Cunningham right now. It's
That's tough.
it's tough. It's tough, and Cade has been playing lights out. He is playing the best basketball of his career by far. He's figured it out. He wants to be that guy in the NBA, not just of the Detroit Pistons. He wants to be that guy in the NBA. And I'm
All NBA
loving
player or what?
every second. He should be 100% has to be an all NBA player. 100%. Definitely deserves it. He's like that. And he should get recognition for this year and years to come. And if Cade can come out and have his coming out party against the Knicks, the league better watch out because Cade is that dude. Cade is that dude. And this to have the turnaround from what the Pistons were last year to this year and how much Cade has improved in terms of being able to, he's always been a pretty good playmaker, but this year he's gotten so much better about playmaking and not turning the ball over nearly as much as he did last year. And he's figured it out offensively. Getting buckets is not difficult for him at all right now. I mean, he dropped 36 when they played the Knicks just before the season ended. And so I'm with you in terms of if they win, it's gonna go down to depth too. But I think Jalen Brunson wants this. I think Cat wants this. And I think it's gonna be difficult for Cade to go up against Mikal because Mikal is probably gonna be the one that guards him. And Bridges is a tough defender. The only way I see the Pistons winning is if, and you kind of alluded to it, is Thibodeau runs these dudes into the ground and they got nothing left by Game 7 or someone's hurt. That's what I see if the Pistons need that to win. Other than that, I think if the Knicks are healthy, I think the Knicks got it in 7.
So we've talked about this before, right? But I'm gonna just bring it up this episode because it's new playoffs, it's a new year, it's a new Carl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
Suspectedly. Which Carl Anthony Towns are we gonna get this playoffs? A passive aggressive or aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
That
It's
what
a
it's
good
gonna come
question
down to for
because
the Knicks, man.
that mid-season cat was going crazy. He was
20 plus
aggressive.
rebounds for like 4 or
He
5
was
games in a row.
snapping, but he's kind of falling off. But it could be just he's trying to save
the energy, which I get. I understand that. But
or he could be tired. It's hard to tell right now.
I lean more to him saving his energy.
I think so too. But them Thibodeau minutes don't play.
If we get, we'll play devil's advocate on both sides. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we get passive aggressive, Karl Anthony Towns, what do you think?
Oh, if Karl Anthony Towns is a no-show, then I got Pistons all the way.
I wouldn't say no show. But when I say passive aggressive, let me be more clear, just in case. When I say passive aggressive, right, it's 10, 15 points.
He's
5
not
to 8 rebounds.
He's not grabbing that ball and going to get a bucket.
Authority.
I know what you're talking about because Bam does it every freaking game.
with some Carmelo Anthony type rebound getting.
Yeah.
Buddy, my rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he doesn't come out with that energy,
yeah,
you still think the Knicks take the whole series. I'm not talking about one game because obviously,
if they don't get an aggressive cat, then it's going to be hard for them to generate offense unless OG Anunoby snaps for 7 games straight, which I don't see. So
I would put $1,000 that he will not snap for 7 games straight.
No, exactly. You'll get 2
Actually,
games
I'll put my life savings.
3. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Babe, take out the money right now. We double it.
I'd put the house on that not happening.
You know what I'm saying?
Jalen Brunson won't be able to carry it on his own. And if we're getting a cat that's shying away from the aggressiveness that is the centers in Detroit with Duren and Isaiah Stewart, he's got his hands full. So he's got to come in.
There's going to be a fight.
Cat comes. Oh, for sure.
Take the over on 1.5 fights.
A fight. There's going to be fights.
Take the over on that.
Take the over. Pound the over. Pound the over on that. That's going to be over that by game 2.
Literally.
But he's got to come out aggressive. That is a necessary thing for the Knicks to win. Cat has to come out aggressive. I'm talking about he's got to come out with at least 28 points per game. Not per game, but in the first game, 28 points, 12 rebounds, make a statement against the bigs in Detroit that haven't been there before. But if he gets punked game 1 in the Garden by some young centers that Detroit's got,
yikes.
He's in for a long series.
Yep.
So I would say he's got to come out aggressive. It's necessary for him to come out aggressive.
All right, so the other series will be, we already talked about the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets. So we'll come down with what ended here on the NBA with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay. I got Lake Show. I got Lake Show. Luka is, like I said, top 5 player. 25 years old, got eyes in the back of his head, playing great basketball right now. LeBron's playing Robin, and he's loving it. And then you got Austin Reeves playing impeccable basketball right now, and he's one of those dudes that you can just pass the ball to. I've been saying it this entire podcast, George. You can just pass the ball to, and you sit back and you watch him get a bucket, and it's super, super important in these games. And Anthony Edwards, as good as he is, he's going to have to carry them 7 games if he wants to win this series. And like I said, as great as he is, I just don't see it happening. I know he likes being the underdog. I know he thinks he can do it on his own. He dropped 43 points in the last game of the season. He's ready for the playoffs, but he can't do it on his own. We've seen Rudy Gobert get torched by Luka in the playoffs. We've seen him fall short time and time again defensively when he's supposed to be there for defense in the playoffs. We saw him fall short when he was with the Jazz and with Mitchell in those playoff runs. We've seen him get torched time and time again in these situations. I don't think Jaden McDaniels or Naz Reid is going to drop 20 points per game. I don't think Julius Randle is going to drop 20 points per game. I think it's going to be Anthony Edwards getting double teamed, getting locked up, getting frustrated. He'll get buckets, obviously, but with that three-headed monster they got going on in the Lake Show, I don't see them winning.
And that's what it is, the three-headed monster, right? Because, like, if you really compare the teams by a little bit, I think the Timberwolves are a better team. Like, if they can be
player by player, I completely agree.
If they can be consistently good on offensive scoring and defensive stopping, I think the Timberwolves can take it, right? But that's the problem. I think the Timberwolves are going to be inconsistent except for Anthony Edwards. I think Naz Reid will probably have 2-3 games that are good, right?
I'd love to see that Naz Reid that we saw last year. Naz Reid, when he's popping off.
Who knows what Naz Reid we're going to get?
Yeah. Well, he should be starting. They should give this man the confidence that he deserves in minutes because they take away from him all the time. It's hard for him to build that confidence in the system. I think he's a starting player. I don't think he should come off the bench at all. I think he's deserved that starting spot after what he did last year. And I think they should try to build confidence through and let him go to work offensively. And it just seems like the system kind of takes away from that. And I wish we could see more of that aggressiveness from Naz Reid. Maybe we'll see it in the playoffs. Maybe they're just kind of like trying to hide it, but I don't know. I don't see it.
It's just like the Orlando Magic situation. I think it's good for him to come to the second unit because they're going to need some scoring in the second unit because, you got Dante DiVincenzo, right? But he hasn't played a lot of the games.
Yeah, he's been hurt a lot of the year.
He's been hurt a lot. He's been missing a lot of time. So he's going to have to get the stamina back, the chemistry back with his teammates. I think he'll be a good scoring threat, but I think he'll be inconsistent as well. Like, I don't think he's going to be super consistent. And then when it comes to the Lakers, Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, I think they're each going to put up more than 20 points per game. Each 100%. Of them. And if you're getting that outlook from the Lakers, they're going to win this in 6, man. Easily. I mean,
I think so too.
When they got Luka,
it's generous in my opinion. Yeah. I think it could go. I think it'll be like 5, but they could go 6.
I'm giving 6 because I think the Timberwolves can play very well at home. I think they can show that they can play well at home. The Lakers are just more experienced, and they're just a better with their all-stars, a better talented team. When it comes to team as a whole, I think the Timberwolves can take it by a slight notch if they're consistent. If they're inconsistent, then no, the Lakers take it for sure. And when the Lakers got Luka, if you guys were watching the first 15 games with Luka, the Lakers were one of the best defensive rated teams in the NBA. So they can play defense when they really want to. So I think the Lakers will probably take it in 6.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think 6 max. I don't see Lakers losing this series.
Yeah. But yeah, man, NBA playoffs still going on. The play-in, the final 2 games are tomorrow, so we'll see who's gonna be facing the Cleveland Cavaliers and the OKC Thunder.
Excited for this playoff basketball, George.
Hopefully, Miami Heat are in there. Baby.
Hey, I'll be rooting for y'all. I'll be rooting for y'all.
For Billy.
I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, I'm super excited for these playoffs. There's some good matchups in the first round already. I'm stoked.
Facts. I'm always excited for the first round, bro. Oh, NBA, like just games every day. When it comes to the second round, there's games every other day. When it comes to the third round, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
You know, but first round is games every day. It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
But we'll move on from the NBA hardwood floor to the NFL field, and we'll talk about this draft order here. Let me take this off the screen real quick. Bye. So usually everybody's always excited for the first 10 picks of the NFL draft, but this year I feel like it's only like the top 5 picks that people really excited for. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good players. There's just not a lot of big time name players that are coming into this draft. So if you're not familiar with college football, you won't really know anything probably past the 6th, 7th pick in this draft. With us, we do know a little bit more than what you guys know, but to validate the fans and give the entertainment for the fans, we'll only talk about the first 6 picks here, right? So there's a lot of big names: Cam Ward, Shadir Sanders. You got Carter coming out of Penn State. Dude, I feel like the first 5 picks in this draft are gonna be very exciting, and they're not gonna be bust. You see a lot of bust in the first 5 picks in the last few years. Not even the last few years, more than that. I'd say 10, 15 years. You see a lot of bust in the top 5 picks, but I think these top 5 picks are actually gonna be doing work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but let's talk about the number one. The number one is what people want to know, what people
Right.
really want to see, what people actually tune in to see for the
Mm-hmm.
NFL draft. And the Tennessee Titans here with the 3-14 record, they will be picking first. Who do you think they're taking?
I think it's a home run. Cam Ward all the way. I think Cam Ward's the number
Yeah,
one for sure. Coming out of Miami, had an amazing season. He was so calm, cool, collected in that pocket all year. He had the score pretty much every time down because Miami's defense was atrocious, and that's putting it nicely. That man can
please don't
throw the
remind.
football. that defense was horrible all year. Cam Ward was carrying that team. If you watched any college football, that Cam Ward was Miami because he was carrying that offense, and that
Him and
defense was
Restrepo.
on. Yeah, Restrepo. Oh man, Restrepo is nice. That man is nice.
I think that's
His
one of
route
my
running
sleepers that we
quickness.
talked about
He's
before. I think that was one of my
hey,
sleepers right there, Restrepo.
hey, I could definitely see him tearing it up in the league, and I don't see him getting drafted very high. But
Yeah, probably second round, third round.
I would say probably third. Yeah, probably third.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cam Ward, I think home run number one pick, and I think that's the right pick. He's accurate, he's calm, can read defenses, and he hits guys on the run. He has arm strength. He's got everything you want in a quarterback prospect. It's just Tennessee, don't mess him up because we've seen him mess up quarterbacks. Don't mess him up. That's all I got. That's all I got. I think Cam Ward is the number one pick in this draft. What about you, Cam?
No, I agree. I think Cam Ward takes it, and I don't even really have to say much because you hit it right on the rum, right? But what I do want to bring up is there any dimension that the Titans stick with Will Levis and don't go
Absolutely not.
right? Like
Absolutely not.
I don't see it happening at all. Like I don't
Absolutely
even
not.
see like a 1%
They
chance
saw
that the Titans.
they saw enough. They saw enough out of Will Levis. This
He had like
past
2
year.
good games.
If that. They saw enough out of Will Levis. They were trying to still like hold on. He could still have that really good game because his first game was amazing. He had like I think
400 yards, 3
yards,
TDs.
4 touchdowns. It was ridiculous. And everyone was like, oh, shoot, like, could he actually be a good pro? Because a lot of people were sleeping on Will Levis. Like, I don't think he's going to be a good pro. Then he had that game. It was like, okay, maybe we should take a look at this dude. Maybe he really can be a good pro. And then we saw him just stink it up right after. I mean, he just had played terrible right after that game. Had an amazing game. Tore up Atlanta's secondary like it wasn't even there and was non-existent ever since. But nah, there's not a chance that they don't take Cam Ward with that number one pick.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up because I saw it on Twitter /X, and I seen a lot of people talking about it, and it's just like
No shot.
no
shot.
no. I'm sorry, you don't give up a quarterback talent like this when you got to make you mediocre talent.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no. What are you gonna? Don't. You're not gonna build Will Levis up to be any Super Bowl winning quarterback. Cam Ward could potentially win you a Super Bowl. I mean, that's how you want to look at it. He's got the talent. He's got the potential. You just got to build around him, and he could be a really, really, really good quarterback in this league. We know that Will Levis is not winning a Super Bowl. I can tell you that right now.
Did you see when he was playing Fortnite and they asked him, he's like, "Oh, who do you think the best running backs are in the league?"
Yeah,
like
he
Tony
said
Pollard and Tyre Spears.
Tony, yep.
I was like, this man's going to the Titans for sure.
Yep. Number 1 off the board.
Yep.
That's pretty much the only like solidified pick is number 1. After
And
that, it gets
I
shaky.
was gonna bring that up because, like, I feel like, and like you give me your opinion, but I feel like this draft is like the first time in a long time that we really don't know who the top 3 picks are. Like
Yeah.
for sure. Because I
Uh-huh.
feel like with the Cleveland Browns, they could go either way here. And I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
go first on what you think the Cleveland Browns are gonna do.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right on the money. They could go Shador. They could go. They need so much on this team. They could go Travis Hunter. They could go Abdul Carter. I mean, they could go offensive lineman. They could go Mason Graham. Like they could literally take anybody with this second pick. But I I think Cleveland's just going to take the best guy off the board, just an all around football player, and Travis Hunter. He could do
They
wide
should.
receiver. He can do corner. He wants to play both. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they'll let him play both. He's saying he'll quit football if he can't play both, or he'd rather, let me say that, he'd rather quit football than not be able to play both. But let's be honest, this man's not quitting football, even if he's told he can't do both. But I mean, he could do both. He just can't play every snap. That is impossible. But he could play both. But I think Cleveland's going to take the best player available, and I think that's Travis Hunter. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they take Travis Hunter too. I think they need some more help on the receiver side.
Oh yeah,
and
especially with trading Amari Cooper.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
and if they let him play a corner as well, I think it would help out Denzel Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Help him do a little bit of work on both sides of the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
think they should try it out. I think they should let him in the preseason see how he does, and maybe even the first game see how he does. I think they should let him try it out. If it doesn't work out, then you just tell him, "Yo, you're gonna stick to one side of the ball. Which side of the ball do you really want to play? Which side of the ball are you
Mm-hmm.
really better at?" Uh,
Yeah.
just keep him there. But I think they should try him out. I think he that's something that one, it would look good for the NFL and showing that someone can play both sides of the ball and still be a superstar on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe even get a Pro Bowl on both sides of the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
sick. That'd
It'll
be
be
sick.
sick.
And
It'll
if
be
there's a guy to
great
do it,
story.
it's him.
Exactly.
If
It'll be
there's
a
a guy
great
to do it,
story.
it's him. Mm-hmm. I
So I
agree.
think they should let him try it out. But
Yeah, just
do I think he
don't.
can sustain it throughout his whole career?
No, not a chance. That's
Dude,
too
bro, a lot of
difficult.
energy,
That's
a lot of brain power, like
that's a lot of hits too.
a
You're
lot of
hitting
hits.
on
Yeah,
one side, grown men. You're hitting grown men on one side and getting hit by grown men on the other side. Bam, 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 bam. Dudes, like, there's a reason they don't want to, that these players don't want to expand the season. They don't want as many hits as they're already taking. This man's doubling up the hits he's going to be taking if he plays both sides of the ball on his own authority. It's too physical of a sport. I don't think he could sustain it unless he does a lot less snaps. I mean, that's the only way. And maybe he starts at corner and plays most of the snaps and plays a few snaps on wide receiver. I think they gotta have to have a percentage type deal with that. I don't think it's just the way he's playing at Colorado. It's not gonna happen here. There's just no way.
yeah. It's gonna be completely different from college to the NFL for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that he
But
can't do it.
no,
I'm just saying I don't think that he'll do it for the rest of his
it's a
career.
lot of exactly. It's just a lot of risk. It's a lot of risk that he doesn't need. He can get paid on both sides of the ball. Go,
Imagine that though. Imagine that. Are you getting paid for 2 positions, 2 for 1, or are you getting
Oh yeah,
2 different payments for 2 different positions?
I didn't even think about that.
I know. I just thought about it right now.
Shoot, go get your money, Travis. You want to
Right?
you want to go play both sides? Go
Are
get
you
your
getting
money.
paid just one contract to play 2 positions?
He would get one contract to play 2
What do you
positions.
think, guys? Let me
Probably,
know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's tough.
But I don't know who they're gonna have to. I don't know if they're gonna start Flacco or Pickett, but they'll probably draft a quarterback in the second round. But I feel like they're gonna take the best available.
I think they're gonna
player.
draft Shador.
You think so?
I think the Shador could fall down there, bro. Because you look at the Patriots.
In the second?
Yeah, you look at the Patriots. Drake
Wow.
May, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, Las Vegas Raiders. They just signed Geno Smith. Jets. They just signed. Um, I just drew blank. Justin Fields.
Yep.
Carolina Panthers. They have Bryce Young. New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr. Even though he's probably not going to play, they still have a backup there. Chicago Bears. Sky Williams. Zesty Williams. And the list goes on and on. There's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, bro. Not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
That's true, but a lot of that's. I don't.
Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns
the Saints take him. I think
so.
Yeah. They don't want Carr for ever.
But who do they have?
I think it's
Carr.
The Rattler.
Rattler.
Yeah, Rattler's not. He's not a starting quarterback, in my opinion. I mean, Justin Freezy might tell me otherwise, but I don't think he's a starter in the league.
Sorry, he's not a good quarterback.
Sorry, Freezy. Sorry, Freezy.
Damn, maybe.
And then I'm pretty sure they've had meetings, Shador and the Saints, but
don't the Browns have another first round pick?
Do they?
Let me check. I don't know. But I don't know. There's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, man. I think the teams that need quarterbacks are at the top, which is why they're at the top, because quarterbacks and defenses win you games. Sorry. It's just as it goes. And the New York Giants are not going to take him. And Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. What would be the point of signing them too and then drafting him? I don't know. I don't see.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Giants are going to draft him.
Yeah, I think they take Carter. 100%.
Yeah.
Take Carter.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Unless Carter goes 2, then they'll take Travis 3. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think they're taking a quarterback after that. So well, going off what you said, I think Giants go Carter.
Yeah, I think Giants go Carter too. I think it'll be a great pair up right there if they don't fucking trade away. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Number 5.
Oh, Thibodeau?
Thibodeau.
Kayvon?
Okay. Yeah.
Come on. Kayvon Thibodeau?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I heard rumors today that they were trying to trade him out. But
so they could just pair Burns with Carter?
Haven't been 3. What you mean? Keeping all 3.
They could just have Burns play linebacker most of the time. I mean, he's done it.
That's what he does anyways.
I mean, I know, but you could have him play more middle linebacker, outside linebacker. Just have him
middle linebacker
around, not have him at the edge. Yeah, that'd be a offensive line nightmare right there. Burns, Thibodeau, and then Carter. Oh my gosh, and I feel like it's such a underrated part of the game. Sometimes GMs just don't look at it. They want the star players that are, the wide receivers, the running backs, and the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Even corners. Sometimes
these are the guys that don't know football.
These
are the guys that we're talking
about.
Exactly,
but sometimes they're in these GM spots somehow, and they're just I don't know. Philly's got it right. Philly's got it right. Howie Roseman always takes a dude that I want.
Yo. Don't be coming on my podcast talking good about Philly, dog. If you ain't Logan.
I don't want to talk good about Philly. They be pissing me off, George. They be pissing me off. But they won a Super Bowl for a reason. They built through the trenches. They have the, if not number 1, number 2 offensive line in the league. They got. I
would say number 2, but yeah.
I would say number 2 too. But I mean, they're up there. Them and the Lions compete back to back. You know what I mean? They're very similar, very good. Mm-hmm. And then their defensive line was so good in the run to the Super Bowl. I mean, Jalen Carter, I wanted him. Jordan Davis, wanted him. Then you got the Nolan Smith played well. And they really just drafted Georgia guys that I wanted. But
they always draft Georgia guys.
Yeah, I know.
Guys are the best defensive players really in the last 5 years.
You build through the trenches. I don't get it. Why do teams not see this? But yeah, no, I think drafting Carter, keeping Thibodeau, and then having Burns too, that's a 1-2-3 punch that no one on the offensive end wants to see.
Facts. With the Patriots here, right? And we'll talk about them, and then we'll just jump to Genty and then get out of here. But the Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of a question mark, a big question mark on who the
I
Patriots
don't
are
think
going to
so.
take. You don't
I
think
don't think.
so?
I
Okay,
think
who do
they
you
go
think
with
they
the
take?
smart, boring decision. Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU.
I mean, they should.
Probably the
They should. I mean,
they should. I
you
mean,
protect the hell out of Drake May right now.
maybe Vrabel because he's a defensive minded coach. He goes Graham out of Michigan. I'm blanking on his first name, Mason Graham. They take the defensive tackle because he's a monster and he's a run stopper. He can also get to the quarterback, athletic, strong. He's got everything you want in a defensive tackle. But I could see Vrabel taking him. But the Patriots need, and I mean need, capital NEED, need offensive line help, or else Drake May is going to be on his back every game of the season.
Yeah.
So
They should go offensive
think
line
they
100%. They
they
shouldn't go
definitely
anywhere
should.
else, especially that you just signed Stephon Diggs. Like I don't think you should go another receiver at all. Like I think you
No,
should, because that's the one thing.
absolutely
One
not.
thing people were
Absolutely
they're
not.
talking about was the Patriots are
Oh,
trying to take another
McMillan?
receiver.
No.
Nah, I think McMillan goes to
Is it?
Dallas.
Yeah, I think he's good. He's gonna be good because Jags aren't gonna take him.
Jags are gonna
Vegas
go to
will take.
tight end from was it Penn?
Yeah,
Penn?
you think Jags will go
44.
tight end?
Yeah. And
No,
I think the
they just
Raiders are gonna
re-signed Evan Ingram though. I guess they still could. I mean, that tight end Warren
did
is
we sign him?
nasty.
I thought they let him go.
They cut him, then re-signed him.
Oh
So I
shit.
think that was like a money thing. I'm pretty sure. Let me check because now I want to see if I'm right.
But I wanted to talk about Genty because he's he looks like a generational running back like Saquon
Oh, I
Barkley. He
lied. He signed for
actually
the Broncos. You were right. He signed with the
um
Broncos. Yeah, he left. Oh yeah, then
yes,
shoot. Then Warren. Yeah, that's a good pick.
yeah, no, and he's outstanding, bro. He
He's
could
next
block, he
level.
could catch, he's
Yeah,
fast,
he's
agile, dude.
he's like George
Crazy.
Kittle too.
Type
He's
shit.
like that.
Type shit. Yep. So the last thing I want to talk about was Genty because he looks like a generational running back. He looks like another Saquon Barkley. He actually alluded
Mm-hmm.
to that today or yesterday, whichever day it was,
Oh
saying
yeah, I
that he
saw that.
can be another Saquon like he was for
Mm-hmm.
the Philadelphia Eagles. That he could be for whatever team that picks him up, and I think the Raiders can pick him up, right? But if they
Mm-hmm.
don't pick him up, I think the Bears are going to get him. Which team would you
I
rather see him go to?
well,
Raiders?
okay. As a Lions fan, the Raiders, please, God.
For his benefit,
For his benefit, definitely Chicago. For his benefit, 100% Chicago. Are you kidding? 100% Chicago. You got Ben Johnson running the offense. Caleb Williams finally gets an OC. And we've seen what Ben Johnson did with the running back duo he had in Detroit. You take Genty and then Swift and mix it together with what Caleb Williams can do from a offensive playmaking point of view perspective. That was the word I was looking for. They'll be next level on offense. I do not, as a Detroit Lions fan, I do not at all want to see that. That shouldn't happen. I don't want it to happen. I'm not gonna ever think about that happening, George. The Raiders are gonna take him for my sanity. But for Genty going to Chicago, oh my goodness, his career will flourish. What do you think?
No, that's exactly what I think. And shout out to our guy Freezy in the TikTok chat. My guy, what's good with you?
Hey, Freezy.
I think any team that has a great offensive line, Genty will obviously prosper in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chicago Bears are trying to get there. I don't think they're there already. They do obviously have a great head coach, brand new head coach, Ben Johnson, that he can actually do that for them. You saw it in Detroit, and he could probably do the same thing in Chicago. I think it would be great for
Oh,
him.
I think he's gonna take that team to the next level.
And I think he
Offensively.
can be a generational running back as well, man. Like you saw it with so
for
many
sure.
teams. He
For
carried
sure.
his team to a college
Mhm.
football playoff, to
Mhm.
to a bye week. Him by
Mhm.
himself, because that defense was nowhere to be found. That offensive passing was nowhere to be found. He was doing everything out there. And dude, man,
Mhm.
I think he could be a great running back in this league, man. And he can block with the
For
best of
sure.
them. He's very agile. He's fast. No one can tackle him easily.
No
He has
one can
good
tackle him.
hands.
You can say that 3
Above
times
average,
over.
literally. And he said that. He's like,
Yeah.
the
The draft the
NFL is
guy
about
that no one can tackle. Yep.
no one can tackle me. Draft me. That's it. That's
Yep.
all you got to say. 100%. And
For sure.
dude, man, I hope he falls, and I hope Dallas makes a great decision and actually
No, he's
draft
not
him.
going past the Bears.
I just don't.
I know
Yeah,
for a
I
fact.
don't.
I know Ben Johnson
No,
is gonna be
100%.
like begging the GM to take this man.
100%.
Begging, and he
I
should.
think Ben Johnson is gonna do some shit with the mob in Chicago and have the Raiders to freaking pass up on that. And
take him.
the Raiders are
Raiders
gonna
have
go
to
a
take
wide
him.
receiver.
No, please no. Please no. Raiders, if you're listening, please don't do this. Don't do this to me. Las Vegas. Don't do this.
Vegas,
Don't take
Vegas.
Shador. Don't do it.
Nah, you think they stay? Is that a
No.
possibility right there? Them taking Shador
I think it's a
having Gino?
possibility. But they did just extend Gino. They could have Shador, sit under him, but I don't think it's likely. I really think they will go Genty because Pete Carroll loves a ground and pound. He loves a dude that can go
Run the ball.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that, but
Yeah.
but Pete Carroll, other than that, does love to run the football and open up the passing game through the run. We saw it with Marshawn. So I think they will take Genty, but if they don't, the NFC North is in trouble. I'll say that because Ben Johnson with Genty and Caleb Williams, I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Yeah, very well said. Well, Nick, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Before you get out of here, let these people know where they can watch your stuff, listen to your stuff, or whatever it is that you got going on, right?
Nick J. Wilkins TV, or no, Nick J. Wilkins _ at on Instagram. Check me out. Give me a follow. George, I appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me on. Had a great time. It's always good to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, you know where to follow me on IG, TikTok, and YouTube at GMike Media _ on X/Twitter at George Mike Perez. If you're watching the recorded episode, it will be on YouTube, or if you're just listening to the audio feed, it will be on all your podcast platforms. Also, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips for $10 a month to get you anywhere from $50 to $100 to $150 a day. You'll see the link pop up on your screen. Or if not, just hit me up on one of my DMs. We'll start a little conversation and see how you could get started and get you going. Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties today. It was out of the norm, out of nowhere. But, Nick, thank you for coming on, man. And you already know that I'm going to have you back to you on soon. Hopefully in the middle of the playoffs or maybe by the start of the NBA Final. Who knows? Hopefully our teams are going up against each other in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh.
Please.
Yeah, right. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I'm already playing with house money. I'm just glad Detroit's
right.
here. I'm just glad to be involved.
Thank you again, my brother.
Always.
Peace.